The next 7 days in Raid Shadow Legends are massive and could decide the future of your account forevermore. What is up there, guys? This is Cobb. Here are some events going on in Raid right now that you do not want to miss, and some potential pitfalls that could seriously trip you up, especially with the current soulstone summon pool event going on in the Altar of Souls. We will also get to the Deck of Fate event as well, but first and most urgently, there is a Dungeon Divers event going on right now that if you grind the full 6,000 points required in this Dungeon Divers event, you will get your hands on a stack of 45 Prism Jewels at the end, which is going to give you 1 Prism Soulstone pull in your Altar of Souls building. Now, this is absolutely worth doing. Generally speaking, if you can farm these things for free, Prism Shards or Prism Jewels when these events are active, yeah, it's worth doing. Gives you a free pull. You might as well get it done. It will set you back about 6,000 or 7,000 energy if you're farming either stage 16 or stage 20 of the of the dungeon of your choice, and we'll get to that in just a second as well. So it will set you back a good like 1,200 gems or something, maybe a little bit more even in terms of energy refills. So just make sure that you have those gems to spare, bearing in mind that the Thor fusion is coming up probably in like 10 days or something. So it is kind of just around the corner. And so what I'm actually going to be doing is farming that Dungeon Divers event starting tomorrow, and I'm going to absolutely blast the hell out of it as soon as this tournament begins. The good old Odin's Trial Tournament, right? Blasting the hell out of the Odin event dungeon during this time. The pinpoint gear for me is absolutely worth it. I think that is fantastic stuff. It's also going to be limited time gear, so you might as well farm as much of it as you possibly can while the dungeon is open. And so, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be double dipping into the Odin's Trial Tournament and the Dungeon Divers at the same time and just getting it all done, hopefully within like 30 hours of just mad grinding. As a quick word of warning, you do not want to be farming this and blasting this like I'm suggesting if, again, you don't have a good stockpile of gems ready to go for energy refills, and if you are not able to farm at least stage 16 of the Odin's Trial dungeon. Stage 16 is where it starts to get a little bit energy efficient, and so you can kind of get away with it. It's going to spend, you're probably going to spend a little bit more energy than you would if you were farming stage 20, of course. But as a general rule, if you're not hitting at least stage 16 in the Odin's Trial dungeon, you probably just want to go ahead and skip. Okay, man, the Altar of Souls and the first big potential pitfall over the next few days. Get ready for this one. Right after the obligatory promo code shoutout. If you haven't already used good old code GameLeap, which happens to be on the shirt, then make sure to get it used, man, for a free energy refill, 10 free experience brews, and 100,000 silver. You know, if you've already used it yourself, then make sure to share it with your clanmates as well and just help your bros out a little bit. Also helps to support the channel too, so I do greatly appreciate that one. Okay, the Altar of Souls, man, the Altar of Souls. Now, the first thing I will say about this before we cover anything to do with what rewards you can get for this is of course where you're going to be spending your Prism Jewels, right? It's the 45 that you're going to get from the Dungeon Divers event. Is going to give you 1 free pull from this Void Summon pool, right? One thing I will say right now, okay, beware of this. The event ends at the time of recording in 3.5 days, right? 3 days and 14 hours it reads up here. What does this mean? It means do not pull your Prism Soulstones until there are like, I don't know, 6 hours left in the event or something. Wait towards the very end of the event before pulling your Prism Soulstones. Why? The Deck of Fate event, okay, which is going to be a guaranteed summon event, really, to get your hands on Freyja. That Deck of Fate event could drop any day now. A lot of people are speculating it's going to start over the weekend, okay? So if it starts on Saturday, you will have time to pull your Prism Soulstone during that Deck of Fate event, and we don't know yet how you're going to be getting those Deck of Fate points. It might be the case that you pull your Prism Soulstone, and it just gives you Deck of Fate points. It's not uncommon for the Deck of Fate to require you to pull shards and to be opening Soulstones in order to generate event points. That's all I'm saying, okay? I don't know if Soulstones are going to be required. I don't know if Soulstones are going to give you points for the Deck of Fate. I don't even know if the Deck of Fate is going to go active while this Summon Pool event is still active. But it pays to be cautious, okay? It pays to just hold on to these suckers and just see if you can get some free Deck of Fate points. At the end of the day, just takes a little bit of patience, right? And you're still going to get to pull the shard anyway. Maybe it will pay off. Maybe it won't matter. As for the rewards that you get from this Void Summon pool, so 1 pull, I'll actually check the odds in just a second, but obviously a lot of really good Void legendaries here, including a good old Mithrala as well. If you're more of a beginner player, you're not going to be so worried about these. These are going to be like future investments for you if you happen to pull a legendary Void Soul from these shards. You might be more interested, like I am, in the Void Epics and the Void Rares. To be honest, Cold Heart is of course down there in the mix as well, which is great, just above my head right now. Bellower is in there, another great champ. Relic Retender, pretty solid. Fellhound, incredible campaign farmer, this little doggo right here. And so yeah, don't be fooled. Even just pulling a rare from this Void Soul summon pool, if you're a beginner player, might just be account changing, might just be very good for you. Indeed. As for the epics, again, I've actually got a couple of these on my hands as well, namely Genbo, which would be really exciting if I was able to pull that, but a few other champs in here as well that are worth looking at if you're more of a beginner or intermediate player. Now, as for the odds of pulling these, it's actually only a 15% chance of pulling a rare, which is kind of sad. I'd almost prefer to have it be like an 80% chance to pull a rare. Just given where my account is right now, you know. But that said, I mean, if you're a more experienced player, of course you want lower chances to pull the rare, higher chances to pull the epics and the legendaries. And these are the odds for pulling different quality souls right here. So if you do happen to pull a rare, it's guaranteed to be 5-star soul at minimum, which is really good. Again, if you're a beginner player and you happen to pull a rare shard from this, or a rare soul from this, rather. And yeah, you can see the odds as well for the other rarities. But hey man, moral of the story is, if you can farm any kind of prism shards, or in this case, the prism jewels, to pull yourself prism soulstones, if those are free and you can grind those during your dungeon divers, you might as well just get it done, especially if you're double dipping again into a tournament or event that you're actually interested in farming up, which for me right now, like I've already said, is the Odin's Trial Tournament. That brings us to the final warning that we're going to cover in this video, the final potential pitfall. If we head on into the Asgard Divide sort of like events overview page right here, you will notice that the Deck of Fate event is not yet active or scheduled in on this page right now. And so I'll just stress again that this weekend, the Deck of Fate event could land. It could land after the Thor fusion. It could be a long ways away. We just don't know yet. Either way, the warning is pretty goddamn simple. Save everything. Okay, if you are looking to get your hands on Freyja through the Deck of Fate event, bear in mind you're probably going to be dropping like 20 sacred shards on this event. Okay, the Deck of Fate event, they are not cheap. They are tough to take on. You get a lot of rewards for them along the way, and that's great, but they cost a hell of a lot to participate in. And then you got to bear in mind that the Thor fusion is coming up on September 5th. That's basically confirmed, and you're going to need 6 sacred shards and like 60 ancient shards or whatever, and all of the tools that you always need to get through a fusion event in the bank. You're going to have those things ready. So unless you're sitting on like 30 sacred shards, okay, you're probably just going to be skipping the Deck of Fate event completely. Either that, or you might have to choose between going for the Thor fusion or Freyja. Now, of course, it might be the case that the Deck of Fate event launches and you can not only pull shards, but maybe you can pull your soul stones as well and get some free event points that way. Maybe that'll be a thing, and that will factor into your decision making. Maybe you'll be able to farm artifacts from dungeons, and maybe that'll give you some Deck of Fate event points as well, although typically that's very inefficient. And just make sure you do the math when the Deck of Fate launches and you're certain that you have enough resources to get it done. I think like there's been Deck of Fate events in the past where in order to flip like 10 cards in the Deck of Fate, it's like 14,000 energy spent or something farming stage 10 of dungeons, like on average, to get the required, like if they go like the dungeon divers route and you can get points from farming artifacts like that, you know, like 13 or 14,000 energy spent just to flip 10 bloody cards, you know, like it's crazy as hell how expensive these Deck of Fate events are. Me personally, there's a reasonable chance that I just go ahead and skip, unless I get like massively lucky on clan boss drops or something, and it like sacred stat just coming out my ears over the next few days. Either that, or maybe I go for Freyja and then I skip Thrall. Thrall. I've got World of Warcraft on my mind, man, because of the new expansion. Or I skip Thor, for example. That might be a decision that you have to make. Point is, save everything right now, okay? And especially do not pull your prism jewels in the summon pool event. Again, don't trust what this event timer says right here above my head. It says that the summon pool event ends in 2.5 days. That is not correct. That is actually just completely flat out wrong. What this timer is actually counting down to is how long you have to purchase prism jewels from the store. The event itself, you actually have an extra 24 hours after this time to pull your prism jewels and to pull those soul stones in your altar. Okay, so don't be fooled by this, man. Don't be panicked by this. So yeah, save those prism jewels, save all of your shards, save everything over the next few days, and just wait for the Deck of Fate event to arrive. We'll do a quick breakdown of that, I guess, on the channel, see how worth it is. Yeah, and then make your decision from there, as long as you have enough resources in the bank to still get the Thor fusion done. All right, man, I'm gonna leave this one here. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck in the events and the days to come. It's gonna be a damn good one. If you ever get the urge to say, you know what, man, screw all this, I want to start off fresh, well, you can do that by clicking on my promo link down below at the top of the video description, man, and kickstart your account with a free copy of Tagore after you finish the tutorial, and then grabbing yourself Wrecked Drath as soon as your account hits level 25. Just make sure that if you're an existing raid player and you're looking to set off a new account using a promo link like that one, that you do so on a new device that has never had Raid Shadow Legends installed on it before, else that beginner promo link just won't work. What can I tell you? Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy. And I'm going to catch all of y'all just a tad bit later, man.